The last of the 13 U.S. service members to die after the suicide bombing in Kabul last week was Staff Sergeant Ryan C. Knauss, a 23-year-old special operations soldier from Tennessee who was based at Fort Bragg. His widow, Alina, talked with Jay Price of WUNC's American Homefront Project.
She was the Army brat, living in various base towns as her dad transferred around. But he was the one who had wanted to be in the military since he was in elementary school.
He never saw anything else for himself. He just wanted to serve his country, which was all he wanted. He thought that was the best way he could help people.
Ryan Knauss had done a 9-month tour in Afghanistan earlier and seen combat, but mostly he mentored Afghan troops. It was much like deployments U.S. forces had done for 2 decades. This one was different, though. It was all about helping American civilians and Afghan refugees get out.
You know, that's why he was where he was, because these people needed the help. That was their only hope.
The couple met working together at a pizza parlor when they were 15 years old and began dating a couple of years later. His big thing, she says, was solving problems.
He just was a fixer, and it bled over into his work life, his love life. I mean, everything. He just had a magic touch. Like, he could fix anything.
She means heads and hearts. People.
It was funny because he couldn't fix anything, like, with his hands. Like, handy-wise, that was me. But mentally, he had always been, like, very interested in psychology. If you were the exact opposite of him, he would sit and talk to you for hours to figure out why you thought the way you did.
She handled this deployment as she often did when he was gone on a mission. She tackled a home improvement project, this time tiling a hallway, laundry room, and bathroom, trying to finish before he returned. Elena had decided to spell out her and Ryan's initials in small black tiles.
And I was like, this is going to be so cheesy, and he's going to hate this, but I put just A&R in the year.
She had those black tiles in her hand when the knock on the door came.
I just saw the uniforms, and I just knew. I think I screamed, and they asked, they were like, "Are you Alina Knauss?" And I was like, yeah, I am.
She couldn't sleep, so she finished the initials at least, sobbing as she went. Somehow it seemed important, even though she already knew she'd be selling the house. The future they were mapping out was suddenly gone.
My sister-in-law and I had been at TJ Maxx that morning, and we always wind up in the baby section. There was this little pink cardigan, and I was just obsessed with it. I was like, I have to get this. One of the last things I said to him on a FaceTime call was, when you get back, we need to be in baby mode.
Instead of getting him home for baby mode, she flew to Dover to meet the C-17 that carried his body and those of the other 12 service members killed by the blast. The other families of the fallen joined her. So did President Biden, who had to lean over to talk because she just couldn't stand up. Alina Knauss said her husband had been a history buff and would have wanted to be remembered for helping others, for serving his country, and as a part of history. He is now. According to a Pentagon spokesperson, Knauss didn't die immediately, only later succumbing to his wounds. That means he was likely the last American service member killed in the war.
He was helping people, and if he was the last, I would be grateful that no one else would ever feel what I'm feeling. And so to know that, yes, I'm in shambles and I'm hurting, but that no mother, father, wife, brother, sister ever has to feel such emptiness, I would be grateful to know he was the last.
The last of more than 2,400 U.S. service members who were killed in the war, along with more than 100,000 Afghan troops and civilians. Jay Price, North Carolina Public Radio, WUNC.